This is the second time I'm giving it a try, but I have not succeeded again. So let me go to Europe and work. That is how I told myself. And that is where I started my process of applying for work in Europe. So guys, to be honest, mimi niliapply kazi with zero connection. I didn't know anybody. I was not referred by anyone. Just sat with my laptop, started applying jobs. The one thing is, if you want to work outside Kenya as a foreigner, if you want to come and work in Europe, when you are submitting your application, when you're making an application, please consider companies which are the international companies, because it's very difficult for you to work for a local company if you're not a local of that country. So that is where now I started sending my application to some of the international organizations, sent a couple of applications, received a couple of rejection, and I was contacted actually in around April, nikatuma application. I was contacted, my current company, my employer contacted me. They shortlisted me for an interview. And by the way, one thing is, you see, the best part of this interview is there is zero connection. It's all about you. You defend yourself. If you merit for the position, they'll consider you. So I was shortlisted for the interview by my current employer. The interview was around May. It was around May. Interview took me around 5 minutes. Haikuwa hata ngumu. Achana na ile interview yenye unapelekwa unafinywa kwa kona hadi jasho inatoka. Hapana. Guys, one thing I've realized is, it was one of the best interviews I've ever had in my life. To me ilikuwa rahisi sana. Ni walkover. Ni kama mnaongea tu. As long as you're confident enough, you are like just speaking. Ni kucheka tu na employer na kusmile tu na kusmile tu. And then I did my interview on it was on 20th of May. It was on a Friday actually. And then the interview took me around 45 minutes. Then my HR manager told me that now we will respond to you in a week's time. That was on Friday. So akaniambia wala respond in a week's time. So Saturday I went on with vitu zangu biashara, shughuli zangu za kawaida. Then come on Monday in the morning at around 10:30, I receive an email from the company. Congratulations, you have an offer. So that is how I landed job. Nikaland kazi na hii kampuni. And now the first thing that hit me so hard, kazi niko nayo na sina passport. So nikaanza application ya passport. And the beauty is now I had my offer letter. I had my offer letter with me. So initially apply passport, nilikuwa nimeapply kuchukua na Kisumu. However, for you to start your visa application, lazima ukuwe na passport. Uwezi anza kuapply visa kama una passport. So employer akaniambia ati nitume passport. Na mimi sikuwa na passport. So ikabidi nikamwambia employer nikamwambia hii kitu nasukumana nayo, but in 2 weeks time nitakuwa nimeipata. And then they gave me a duration of 2 weeks. So mimi nikukimbia hapa na pale. Nikaenda Nyayo House wakaniambia nikuje na offer letter the following day. And then ni change biometrics place na biometrics zangu zilikuwa zinafaa kuwa captured in Kisumu. So nitoke from Kisumu nirudishe Nairobi. However, Nairobi was really full up to August. And remember, I was to have nilikuwa nafaa kuwa na my passport within a span of 2 weeks. So I think guys let me just
endelea tu like
let me just
yes.
then nikimaliza I'll answer the questions. Just post them, nikimaliza then I'll answer all of them. Sasa where was I? Come on, where was I? I mean, I applied my, I mean,
Ulikuwa unaongelea story na passport and story
passport.
na passport na yes, when you ulipata passport.
So nikabadilisha Nairobi, biometrics Nairobi. It was for August. And then nikaenda Nyayo House with my offer letter. I told them, guys, I mean, this is the current status. Tangu nimalize shule mimi, it's close to 3 years. I mean, it's close to 3 years. I've never gotten any stable employment. So, na sijakuwa nikitafuta, nimekuwa nikitafuta. Now, this is a lifetime opportunity I've had, but now sina passport. And nimepewa 2 weeks na employer ni passport ndio anze kuniprocesia visa. Then they told me, well, come tomorrow. They took my details. Then they told me, come tomorrow. We will conduct the biometrics for you. Nikaenda home. The following day nikarudi.
Anasema hapo ati jaribu ongea Kizungu, sijui ati umwambie ongea Kizungu, kuna wenye wasikii Kiswahili.
Si Mkenya.
I think Mkenya but maybe najua kuna jamaa mmoja hapo wa Netherlands amesema good jobs my friend. Yeah, speak Kiswahili but kuna mwingine amesema nikwambie ongea Kizungu but it's okay.
Well, I can carry on with Kizungu pia. Now, I hope now Kizungu will be okay for kila mtu. Let me carry on. That's okay?
Sure.
Now, applied my scholarship. I applied for my passport. My passport. My passport, since I had the offer letter with me indicating exactly that I had a job and the passport was really needed by my employer. It took me 2 weeks to get my passport. So I applied, took me 2 weeks, got my passport, sent the details to my employer, and then they started now the process of applying for my visa. So basically, guys, for me, my employer did everything for me. They did everything. They applied for the visa on my behalf. I only had to send some of the documents. Like I sent my original degree certificate to Hungary. The reason as to why they needed that original degree certificate was for the purposes of the process is called diplomatic attestation. Diplomatic attestation is whereby they are going to translate my original degree from English into the Hungarian language. So once that was done, they sent the package back to me. They booked an appointment on my behalf to the consulate for the visa. So I went to the consulate on 20th of July. The employer did send all the documents required of me to submit at the consulate. So at the consulate, the documents which were needed actually, one was the lease agreement of where I was going to be accommodated. So accommodation lease agreement. Another one was my the flight ticket. Another one was the health insurance cover, which were all provided by my employer. Another document that they did send to me was flight ticket, the application itself. They did send also that document. So I went to the consulate, and the one statement the officer told me at the consulate that, wow, I mean, your documents are you're well organized. Funnily enough, I'm not even the one who organized the documents. The documents were organized by my employer. For me, mine was all about just going to the consulate and submitting the documents. So I submitted the documents. I mean, at the consulate, everything was so smooth. At the embassy, at the Hungarian embassy, everything was really smooth, really smooth. Unfortunately, I could see some guys were being sent back. If you miss even one document, they'll send you back again to get the remaining, I mean, that document. So for me, it was very smooth. And then after that, they took my biometrics. Then I asked, how long is it gonna take for me to have the visa? And then they told me, like, because it's summer, at that time when I was applying, it was summer, so there were lots of application, especially because of the Ukraine war. So most of the Ukrainian were getting to Hungary, so it was a bit of backlog. So they told me that it will take me around 4 weeks or a month to get my visa, even though my employer had informed me that when they inquired from the migration in Hungary, they were informed that the visa will take around between 70 to 90 days for it to be ready. Between 70 to 90 days, because the approval of the visa was not being done at the Hungarian embassy in Nairobi. No, it was being done at the immigration department in Hungary. So, after 67 days, I got a report from my employer telling me that, congratulations, Brian, again, once more, visa has been approved, and now you can go pick your visa at the embassy. So, after 67 days, I went to the embassy, picked up my visa with my passport, came back. By that time, my employer had already given me options of the flight that I was to rebook now again my flights, because initially the flights that I had booked were for 10th of September, but visa, I could not travel because my visa had not been approved yet. So they gave me options to reschedule my flight now to October. The employer paid. I chose the date that I was travel. I left Kenya on. It was around 20th of October. Uh, they paid my air ticket. They paid everything on my behalf. When I go to Hungary, I go to Hungary. They paid even for the taxi driver. They had booked for me a taxi driver, so the taxi driver was to pick me from the airport, take me to my apartment. So that was my journey. That was my journey from Kenya to Europe. So here I am. I'm really enjoying. It's a very nice place. I can say so far so good. And just hoping and wishing that more and more of Kenyans join us in abroad. That's it, man.